Hi guys, it's me, it's Gata. We actually completed our December donation goal on stream, and it's kind of funny because I didn't expect it to happen. So, December's monthly donation goal was to get me a toy. To get me a birthday gift, Christmas gift, whatever kind of gift, but basically to buy me one of my expensive Japanese action figures. And you guys actually donated, and that makes me feel really good because not only did you all donate, you also voted for which toy you were going to get me on Twitter. It was actually kind of neck and neck. Some of the options you guys were like really split, like down the middle on which one you wanted me to get, but eventually one of them did win out after like 3 different days of voting, and it was really cool and really funny. Because a lot of people were like hardcore supporting one choice over the other, and I'm like, this is to get me an action figure. Like, it's not that serious, but it was still really nice. You guys, I say it decently enough, I think, but just to reiterate, you are far, far too kind to me. But I have the package. I got it right here, and I haven't opened it yet. I wanted you guys to see me when I open it, so let's go ahead and do that now. I already know what it is, but oh dear. I'm really excited about this, not just for this new toy, but because it's been a while since I've seen the packaging. Does that make sense? I'm really big into toys, specifically the SH Figuarts line, and this toy in particular came out after they'd only been doing it for about 2 years. It was right after they sold a bunch of them and realized, oh hey, this is profitable. So they started pumping out more. Originally they only did like a couple of the main characters and maybe 1 or 2 of the villains, but then those sold really well. And then they decided to push it a little further, and they made a whole bunch of forms for the heroes and the characters and whatnot, and those sold like hotcakes. So this toy in particular came out right when they started like picking up some serious steam. And they went through a lot of different designs in terms of like the boxes they used, like the packaging was different from year to year, not just to reflect the show that was actively airing, but like what they figured out had worked, what people liked. And why won't this box come apart? Oh, I see, I cut it wrong. Hold on. Ooh. Okay, so I've got the box open. It's open, and we have some. Nah. Ooh. Hello. Oh, aren't you beautiful? Oh man. Yeah, copyright 2011. 2011. Good lord. Oh, she is pretty. I'm gonna show her to her. I'm gonna show her to you in a second, but it looks like she hasn't even been opened. Here, let me just go ahead and show you. So first of all, here, oh, there's reflection, unfortunately. Here she is, the scorpion. Can I remove the light ring? Will that help? Probably. Ugh, now I'm all yellow though. Ugh. So here is the Scorpion Zodiarts. Ooh. I forget the character's actual name, unfortunately. She was a school teacher in the show that she's in, and she, along with the rest of her little cult, are practicing on, let me turn this off. There we go. Are practicing on students, trying to get some alien force, I think they're called the Overseers, to come to Earth and like choose them as their chosen ones. But they don't know that for half the show. Most of it's about a bunch of high schoolers using superpowers to fight off these monsters that are brainwashing their student friends. And this is one of the very first ones that shows up. Let me show you a bit of what I mean about the packaging. So, like, obviously they have the window where you can see the figure here, and then they have like the name. They have like an outline of what she looks like in her cloak, which is pretty cool. There's some random English. No, there's a logo for the show, Kamen Rider Forze. Is this? Uh-oh, I think this camera's gonna be flipped around. Uh-oh, I didn't need that to happen. SH Figuarts is a new standard figure series that incorporates the Bandai action figure art under the theme Pursuing Character Expression Through Humanoid Action. They put this on every single box for quite some time, and I don't know when they dropped it, but yeah, there's some dust on the inside here. This is an old figure. This is a relatively old figure. And then on the back, it shows off, it's over here. It shows off the full figure. She's beautiful. Then it shows off her cloak, front and back. And then I don't know if the camera will show it. I'll show you the figure in a second. But they have, the whole gimmick was switches. They were these little baubles that had a little button on top or a lever or something to spin. And the hero would use like multiple ones. He'd put it in his belt, and each different switch gave him a different like mechanical add-on to his armor. It was really cool. But bad guys had evil switches that they would tempt kids into pressing the button, and they would get the power to do whatever it is they wanted. But it would usually just turn them into a monster, which had to be defeated and then, you know, saved and whatnot. So let's go ahead and open her up. I'm going to spend more time talking about the figure. Let's talk about the character. Let's see here. Ooh. And then she slides out like so. Oh, very nice. Oh, it has all the paperwork in the back too. I don't think this was ever opened. So let's look at the figure herself first. Just the regular figure. I'm going to go ahead. It's got like a sandwich kind of thing going on where it's two pieces to keep everything together because she has the extra hands. And then there's a little switch, which is so teeny tiny. This is going to get lost immediately. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let me get my box. Because I have this, all right? It's a whole toolbox. And all it has in it is various accessories for all of my toys. And somewhere in here, let me flip this around. Somewhere in here, I have some empty plastic baggies. No, I think I used all the baggies up, unfortunately, but I do have this this old little dice box. So we're gonna put the small losable things in here as we take them one by one out of their packaging, just so we don't lose them, because that would be heartbreaking. One of the first things you learn about these kind of toys is that unless you are super careful and you take them from one container and put them into another container, something is going to get lost, something's going to fall off the toy and just get pinged off into the void, and you just gotta emotionally come to terms with that before it happens. Case in point, actually, let me go ahead. We're going to grab Forze here, the hero who inevitably kicks this character a whole lot. And here he is. It's space time. He's all space themed. There's aliens and whatnot. Their clubhouse is on the moon. It's pretty cool. But you can see his belt here. There's only switches in two of them because unfortunately, and they're not even the right switches. Like they're not even the switches he uses when he first transformed. They're other switches because they've lost them over time. There's some tiny fiddly bits and they disappear, and there's not much you can do about it. You just gotta accept it. They're going to be remaking his figure at some point in the next like 5 or so years. So I keep considering like, do I buy a replacement so that I have one in like good condition? But no, I'll just wait till they remake it. They re-release the figure. There we go. Okay, so let's slowly take her out. Ooh, look at this. Look at how cool she is. Someone called her a bejeweled lady or a bejeweled bug or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? You're not incredibly wrong. You're not incredibly wrong. Here's something that I mentioned about where her original packaging is still here. There's this little plastic sleeve. So the hip is one big ball joint that like the waist like snaps onto. So like the rotation for her upper body is in the hip. And in order to keep the plastic from that ball joint from wearing away, they normally will ship them with this plastic sleeve that kind of like covers the ball joints. So we're going to peel this away. I don't want to separate the two pieces because of how old this figure is, but back in the day, you would literally snap, well, not snap sounds too violent, but you would pop the joint apart so you could remove the plastic, let's peel it off and then pop it back in. But again, this is an older figure and I do not want to damage her seconds after receiving her. So let's just slowly peel this out. No, I think this is, uh-oh. Yep, immediately I jostled her too much. She's not broken, but the shoulder pad thing came out of place. Okay, so here she is, ta-da! She is based off of a scorpion. She is based off of the Scorpio constellation specifically, which is why she has a scorpion for a head, and why she has stingers for hands and all these different bits and bobs. And it's kind of hard to see but she does have fists in there. Now I'm wondering, how do we remove the fists? Because we're able to change her hands out, but from the look of it, her fists are kind of really nestled into her gauntlets, and I don't know how I'm supposed to remove them. Oh, this is really interesting, actually, because during this time period, let me show you, actually. I can compare. The shoulder pads during this time period of toy manufacturing was interesting because let me show you on this figure that released the year before her, where the shoulder bit is like so. The shoulder pad is actually attached onto the top of the shoulder, as opposed to being attached to the top of the breastplate like it would be with the actual character in the show. Because with a real human being, you want it to look like armor resting on top of a human figure, whereas in a toy, in order to recreate the range of movement that a human body can get with some rubber armor on top, they have to tack it onto the bits that will make the most sense when you move it out. So this is on a simple hinge that is attached to the shoulder, which then attaches to the body and gets you the range of movement. For her, she also has it attached on a hinge, but there's like a second hinge. So there's like a hinge attached to the top of the shoulder, but then there's a hinge attached on the top of here. So you can see this has a lot more of a range of movement because it's two different hinges, which is very, very interesting. I don't think I've seen that in a toy since. Forze's hinges were a little different, right? Forze's shoulder pads were different. Yeah, because of the difference in the design, it's more of like, it's literally like, it's not separate, it just is the shoulder. They just didn't bother with the flapping and whatnot, they just like cemented it in place. It's one solid piece, which is interesting. Interesting. I'm getting off topic. I'm supposed to be talking about her. So yes, and these actually are supposed to come off, I believe. Do the gauntlets come off as well? What do the instructions say? Yes, so the gauntlets are meant to come off, or the spikes on the gauntlets come off. Oh wow. Well, this little bit is going to get lost real quick. You are going directly into the jar. There you go. And same with you, my friend. And then I guess this comes off easily enough because it's meant to be removed? Yeah. Interesting. So that will go in there. And this one as well. And then what we have is the second bit, which has all of her cloak. Now the Zodiarts, they wore these cloaks to appear like dramatic. They would be all like billowy and whatnot as they walked around looking all cool. And then they would take the cloaks and they would throw them off when they wanted to get down and partay, you know? These do not look very cloth-like. These are two solid plastic pieces. They have like the look of cloth, but they're just two chunks of metal, which isn't a bad thing. And you can see they connect into each other. There's a bunch of little pegs. You snap them together, and there you go. Then her sleeves. Do these come apart? I think they do. I think the sleeves do come apart. Yeah, they do. They separate into two pieces. And then is there a front and a back to it? Does the big bit go in the front? Okay, so the big bit goes here. Yeah, that feels right. No, it goes the other way around. No? Okay, that makes sense. Let me snap you. I'll get it. Do I have to rotate her inner arm properly? I think I must. That doesn't feel right. But we're going to continue on. There we go. She has her sleeves. And then we take the front bit. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. So the tops of the sleeves are not meant to be visible. They're meant to be hidden partly by this front bit. Do I have to move her head? Well, I do have to remove her like ponytail in the back. Oh, that is also going to get lost very quickly. Dear Lord. I think the sleeves are on wrong. I think that's where my problem is. The sleeves have got to be on wrong. Alright, let's try. Let's remove the sleeves and flip them around. I'll figure this out eventually. Yeah, the downside of these older figures, they're fascinating because they are from a very different time, from a very different kind of company. But the downside is that they were still experimenting with a lot of things back then. I think they still hadn't given up on weighted soles. At one point, the bottoms of everyone's shoes had bits of metal in it to give weight to them, which was good for making the figure stand up. Wasn't swell for when you wanted the figure to do like kicks and whatnot. Like they still hadn't figured that bit out just yet. I was still working on it. And for a while, a lot of us who were in the fandom wanted the weighted soles to come back, simply because we really liked how it looked. Having that stability was something that we really enjoyed. All right, now hold on. Yeah, the moon bit goes in the back. Am I supposed to remove her head? There's nothing in here that suggests that. But I can't figure out. It's not meant to look that clunky when it's on her, is it? Half this video is just me struggling with this one cloak. I think that's right. She looks very clunky. Like, oh my gosh. With the cloak on, her range of movement is this. That's I don't think I can even turn her head properly. No, it's just stuck like this. Am I not doing something wrong? Have I? Oh, wait a minute. Well, I don't know if it's gonna catch on camera, but I think there's actually a zodiac sign. Will you focus in on it? No? I'll have to put it on screen. There's a zodiac sign in the details on the back of her cloak. I never knew that. Interesting. Well, I'm taking this cloak off of her, and I'm probably never putting it back on, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. She looks much cooler without it anyway. But yeah, here she is. Scorpion Zodiarts. Thank you guys very much for your generosity. I absolutely love it. I have issues with the design choices, but they were design choices that were made literally like 8 years ago, so I can't even be too upset. It's a nice little blast to the past to see all the things that they dropped and changed over time, since this was near the beginning of the line of toys. And it's just really nice that you guys wanted to get me a Christmas gift, so thank you very much. Merry Christmas. My Christmas gift to you, if you happen to enjoy watching me fiddle with this piece of plastic for 20-ish minutes, is that I'm going to be starting a new series of videos similar to this, kind of free-form, where I just kind of do something, where I walk you through my collection, one toy at a time, and I tell you a little bit about why I got the figure, what I like about the figure, and what purpose the figure has on my shelf. I'm going to be sharing some information because I'm going to be sharing some little anecdotes from back when I was super into toy collecting and when I was like really gung-ho about keeping track of the market. Just stuff that I know, even if it isn't true anymore because I stopped following this sort of thing a long time ago. But hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'll be releasing them not on a weekly basis because I have other stuff that I want to do, but I'm hoping to at least get one out a month. And it's probably going to be part of the exclusive content that I give to the Henhouse crew, my subscribers and donators first, before sharing it with the rest of you. So keep an eye out on my Henhouse group on Discord, the hashtag the Henhouse, for when those videos go live. Yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you again, and bye-bye. Bye now.